Hi guys, welcome to the Thinking Crypto channel. I hope you're doing well. I will be interviewing CZ this week, Binance's CEO, so interviewing him again, and as well as Meltem Demirors of CoinShares. So got some great interviews lined up for you. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button. Guys, a very interesting article coming from Forbes here. And the title is XRP is the crypto to watch, says Vegas Blackjack Pro. And before I go further, I want to make sure I let you know that I did vet who the contributor, the author is, and that is John Navin. I took a look at his work to make sure this is not a BS article. And in his profile, he says, my Marketocracy work is profiled in the Warren Buffett's Next Door, the world's greatest investors you've never heard of by Forbes investments editor Matt Shriffen. And he writes on topics related to investments. So it's not just crypto or XRP. He's not like an XRP shill or something like that. He talks about different companies, the stock market. He talks about oil in one of his recent articles. So keep that in mind because I want to make sure I'm giving you guys a credible news here and not just some random person writing an article. Now, he's featuring a guy named Steve who played on one of the MIT Blackjack teams that profited mightily off of Las Vegas 21 tables in the 90s. He's one of the few people I know with both an MBA and an MD. So this guy's a pretty smart guy. Recently, he offered his medical expertise at a Clark County medical facility dealing with COVID-19 patients. And these days, he spends his time using his knowledge and odds and probabilities, of odds and probabilities, looking for inefficiencies and edges in Vegas table games and other betting offerings. And he brought up to the contributor, the author, if he knew about the cryptocurrency XRP, which is interesting. So it looks like he's definitely invested in XRP, and they have a conversation talking about, what he sees in XRP. So the contributor name, once again, is John Navin, and the gentleman he's talking to, his name is Steve. So John Navin asks him, what makes XRP different from other cryptocurrencies? And Steve proceeds to talk about XRP's benefits, right? And its technological superiority. So designed to be an instant funds transfer application, and essentially take over international money transfers, right? Settling within a few seconds, lower fees, instant settlement. So I think we all know that. And he talks about, the low cost and all of that. So he says, right now, the price is increasing on demand alone, and its application has not been adopted by any great degree, which I agree. I think Ripple right now is in the crawl phase. They're not in the walk yet or run phase, right? And we've seen them work with a variety of different companies, MoneyGram and so forth. But I think remember what I've said, guys. I've been on record saying crypto regulations is what's holding them back. I think they're a US-based company. They have banks in the US who want to use XRP, but they can't touch it yet because of lack of regulatory clarity. However, even before the adoption and so forth, we've seen the Bitcoin hype cycle, the crypto hype market, right, drove XRP up to $3.30, or I should say 60 cents, right? And I made some money off that 2017 run up. And I hold XRP in my portfolio. It's actually the largest in my portfolio as far as the holdings. So this guy's bullish on XRP, and Navin asked him, do you have price targets for XRP? And he says it's designed to have a value of 10,000 per coin. Now, like I said, a grain of salt. I personally don't believe that. I believe XRP could certainly be in the $100 to $200 range, but I don't know about 10,000. I feel that's a bit outlandish, but I hope I'm wrong because I'll be filthy rich if it ever hits that in the future, right? And he says, but he gave his caveat. This assumes every retail transaction and international currency transfer uses XRP. Now, I don't think that's everything's going to use XRP because we have to wait and see. Is it possible? Sure. How likely is it? Not very likely, in my opinion, but I do believe a lot of banks will use XRP. So I'm taking more of the balanced conservative view of this. This is very optimistic and a long way off. As it goes up, I will take some profits at certain times, but I don't have a target price to sell it, all of it. So he's going to take profits like all of you should, guys, as the price goes up, and hold some for the long term, right? That's how you got to look at it. I'm doing the same for XRP and Bitcoin. And Navin asked, do you have stop losses prices for XRP? And he said, like any investment, this relies on an investor's current financial position. Right now, I am in wait and see mode. And he's looking to hold for at least another 5 years, it looks like. And then, Navin asked him, what other cryptocurrencies do you hold and why? He doesn't really highlight which ones, but he says, I do hold a few other cryptocurrencies, so he diversifies. Each coin has a functional use, and that's what I evaluate. How will the technology play into the future is what I ask myself. It sounds nuts, but I like to watch futuristic movies from the 80s and 90s, and if I see the tech there, it gives me the impression that people expect to see it in the future. I absolutely believe that, guys. I believe life imitates art many times. I remember watching Star Trek and so forth, and they would have the iPads on the show. And this is 80s, 90s and so forth. And then all of a sudden we had an iPad, right? So I'm not saying everything in the movies comes to reality, but you initially have to have a vision of it, right? And that's where our imaginations fuel our artistic work, and such as movies and books and whatever it may be. And sometimes those things come to life, right, as technology and humans evolve. So I'm bullish on XRP. It's interesting to get this guy's take, and once again, keep in mind who he is and his resume. So I think that's important. And like I said, this article is not from a person who's just shilling crypto all day, right? This is a guy who talks about investing in different avenues. So I think a lot of people recognize what XRP the potential is, and I absolutely do. And another item I want to share with you, which shows you how big Ripple is aiming to have XRP adopted. So central bank payment news, right? Here's who they are, guys. They are a monthly publication providing the most relevant payments news for the central bank payments and market infrastructure community. And you can see here's their Twitter profile, here's their website, right? So they have an official website, they hold summits, they have all kinds of things going on. They're sitting on the currencyresearch.com domain. So they have contributors from central banks and a variety of folks who are talking about all things related to currencies, banking, and all of that. Now, look at what they tweeted out, guys. They tweeted this out today, right? And here's what they said. Since our debut issue in September 2018, we have been honored to feature contributions from more than 50 central banks and global organizations from 6 continents on such topics as CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, instant payments, financial inclusion, fintech, and much more. And guys, when I click on this image, look whose logo appears with all of these central banks. Ripple, along with the IMF, the Bank of International Settlement, the World Bank, Visa. You guys, this is why I am so bullish on XRP and the work Ripple is doing. And they are rubbing shoulders with all these folks. I've done multiple videos showing Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple's CEO, rubbing shoulders with the folks at the IMF. He's, of course, been at the World Economic Forum. And, they mentioned CBDCs here, which I believe will be beneficial to XRP. And I'll keep referencing this document till this thing comes to full fruition. The World Economic Forum put out a central bank digital currency policy toolkit, and subtitled Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution, dated January 2020, this year. This was released around Davos, right? Or I should say the World Economic Forum 2020 in Davos. And when you search for XRP, look what comes up. Most relevant for wholesale CBDCs. Crypto assets designed for inter or intra-bank payments and settlements, XRP. This is an official document from the World Economic Forum. So these are the things I'm looking at as an investor, and why I'm so bullish on XRP and the work Ripple is doing. And we've seen them, once again, rub shoulders with all the folks in the IMF, BIS, and so forth. They're working with 50 central banks around the globe. All these things have been, I mean, we've covered ad nauseum, right? On multiple videos, multiple articles. It's crazy what's happening here. So, very, very interesting, guys. And I think this is a big endorsement right here. Big endorsement right here. Guys, what do you think about this news? I'm in agreement. You know, we got to keep our eye on XRP. Sure, it hasn't been the most outstanding performing crypto asset as within the past couple years, even though it had a super parabolic run up, a higher run up than any other crypto, I believe, from that 2017 run up, guys. And I'm looking for once the crypto regulations come here in the United States, for the floodgates to open around XRP. So what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts and comments below. Thumbs up if you like this video, and I'll talk to you all later.